So you've done the self-help and you've dipped into some personal development, but now you ask the question, now what? What can you do? Well, if you want to escape the apathy, step right this way. So twice a year, I teach a course called AUTONOMY. It's a 12-week personal development and training course. What people get out of it is multifaceted. There's curriculum, there's exercises, there's camaraderie, you make new friends. There's a whole lot of interesting things. We're going to hear a sample from the course right now, and let's take a look at the value these students are getting. Scarcity has a place in human beingness because there is real scarcity in the real world. So we shouldn't have it between our ears because we have to solve these problems in the real world. When I was growing up, my dad's parents had a very frugal mentality because they had survived the Great Depression. So this type of efficiency isn't really scarcity. It's just, and because they were conscious minded about not making extra waste or not wasting food and these sort of things, because they come from an era where you couldn't afford to waste those types of things, right? You would, you don't pour the bacon grease out, you repurpose it. There's other things you use bacon grease for, right? And so they had very little trash as a kid, right? They would just crush the cans and they burn the paper, and that's about it. Everything else was being recycled or reused, or there was a mindset of efficiency around that. And because of that efficiency, they have abundance because they're not wasting, right? So there is that historical good use factor of not being wasteful, not being frivolous, these sort of things. On the other hand, entrepreneurism kind of demands that you go beyond that conservatism, that and say, let's take some risks, right? And for people that have been through like the Depression, they became very risk averse. They want consistent, they want stability. They're not looking to, do anything that takes things off balance, right? So there's a natural scarcity versus abundance aspect that goes on between people's ears. And then there's how we interact with those things in reality. So in the absence of scarcity mindset, we shouldn't then become like frivolous and wasteful. And that's the balancing act, right? Because the anti-scarcity mindset might say, oh, well, who needs to reuse this? We'll just have more tomorrow. Who needs to think about repurposing this aluminum foil? They're just going to go get more bauxite out of Bolivia and they're going to make more Reynolds wrap for me, right? And that's something I think about all the time. It's like when you roll that sheet of foil that we use so frivolously and use it once and throw it away, it takes like none of us could get that on our own. None of us could go make Reynolds wrap on our own, right? And these sort of things. So there is a time and place to consider like, oh, should this be repurposed? Should this be reused? Should this be recycled? All these sort of things. So I don't necessarily consider that scarcity mindset. The scarcity mindset is where it prevents you from taking the actions to achieve your goals and to build your success, right? And identifying it in those areas, that's where it's not serving you. But scarcity mindset can serve you in these other areas. So it's about kind of identifying where it's useful, where it's not useful. Same with the ego. The ego is great for making you get out of bed in the morning and think that you can do something and accomplish something and learn something you've never done before. We need that. But if you let your ego like drive all day, you're going to be crashing into other people's free will and infringing on their liberties and these sort of things, right? So you want balance in all these sort of things. So I think you had the good general idea, and I wanted to make sure the audience had the idea of specific applications of it. Just because you can go out and earn money readily doesn't mean you have to waste it, right? Because then other people who have trouble earning money, they don't respect that. They see you wasting. It's like if they're thirsty and they get drops of water and you're just dumping water all over the place and playing with squirt gun with everybody, you don't want to be like that. And you want to use your resources in a strategic, smart way.
Everyone's doing some kind of self-help these days, and you can find a million self-help courses out there. Most other courses out there are hosting lectures, they're hosting videos, they're maybe even doing Q&As, and these are great starting points to encourage learning. But at AUTONOMY, we believe that hands-on practice is the best way to really lock in what we're learning. There's no better way to gain confidence and mastery than through action. After each lecture, we practice the concepts we've learned with other students, giving and receiving feedback in a non-judgmental environment. The result is mastery of concepts like entrepreneurship, ethical sales, and self-reliance in an environment that directly translates to the real world. Plus, you make connections with other like-minded individuals who are learning right alongside you, and you have a lifetime membership in the community. The Autonomy course with Richard Grove equips you with confidence, competence, and courage in a world filled with confusion and noise. You can learn more at getautonomy.info. We'll see you there.